In 2013, Warner Bros. And DC attempted to revitalize the Superman franchise with a darker, grittier Man of Steel. While the film was successful at the box office, it failed to match the popularity of Marvel's Avengers. Instead of continuing Superman's story, DC decided to follow the Marvel Cinematic Universe's lead and release Batman vs. Superman in 2016, followed by Justice League a year later. While opinions were divided on these movies, it seemed that DC was heading in a new direction with the 2022 release of the Batman. However, what if they took a completely different approach to Superman masked as an origin story? The movie or TV series can open with glimpses of a massive battle between Superman and Orion, the son of Darkseid, set in the future. In a final battle with Orion, the two clash with an ancient relic that creates a time anomaly. Orion enters the anomaly, but Superman is killed. Suddenly, an 18-year-old Clark Kent wakes up in the past, back in his high school, with all of Superman's memories intact as if his spirit has been awakened in the past. As Clark begins to piece together what has happened to him, and learns the crystal from his home planet was responsible for saving his life and it no longer functions. He then remembers the night of his high school prom, when his father Jonathan Kent died. Fueled by regret for not being there for his father, Clark rushes back to the farm to find Jonathan still alive. However, their reunion is cut short when a representative from LexCorp arrives, offering to buy the Kent farm. Knowing his father would never sell, Clark intervenes and forces the man to leave. He remembered it was Jonathan's anger that night that caused his heart attack. This act of defiance saves Jonathan's life as he later discovers he has a heart issue that can be treated with medication. While Clark is grateful for this second chance at life, he's aware of the catastrophic events that happened in the future, including the destruction of Earth and his fate. He believes he is at fault and that maybe he can change the future. Clark is certain that without the Superman persona, Darkseid would never have taken notice of Earth. As a result, Clark decides not to become Superman, and instead, he tries to live a normal life in Metropolis. However, Clark's innate desire to help others soon leads him down an old path. He uses his super speed to assist people anonymously, and soon, rumors begin to spread about a mysterious spirit in Metropolis. Despite this, Clark still tries to keep a low profile and avoids drawing too much attention to himself. One day, he meets Lois Lane, a young reporter fresh out of college who works for the Daily Planet. Clark is immediately smitten with her, but Lois dismisses him, insisting she has no time for a relationship. Determined to win Lois over, Clark claims that they are destined to fall in love and spends time getting to know her, even revealing intimate details about her life that he couldn't possibly have known. Lois is intrigued, but skeptical, and it's only when Clark challenges her to see the truth himself that she agrees to give him a chance. Unfortunately, she doesn't show up and he's heartbroken. Meanwhile, we learn that Orion has physically been thrown back in time. He quickly assassinates his adopted father, knowing how Darkseid was defeated by Superman in the future. His past self was not yet taken by Darkseid from New Genesis. Orion takes over Apokolips and decides to strike Earth before Superman ever donned the cape. He takes a few of his forces with him. Clark, who lives among humans, is reminded of all that Jor-El had taught him, that he was not one of them. He decides to go into isolation in the desert, away from civilization, to try to find himself, to try to find purpose. However, he soon senses the planet's vibration changing and realizes it's been invaded. It's almost like there is no escape from his destiny. When Clark returns to Smallville, he finds that his family and the farm has been destroyed by Orion's forces. Fueled by rage, Clark utterly destroys most of the invaders. With speed and accuracy, most are defeated quickly, while he realizes he has abandoned his strict code of never killing. He then flies to Metropolis to confront Orion, this before more of his forces arrive, and the two engage in a brutal battle till Orion is crushed completely by Clark's bare hands. Clark says he has had enough of Apokolips. The remaining forces bow to Clark, who tells them to leave the planet and never to return. They comply. The final battle is over and Clark has a second chance in life. Clark flies to Metropolis, letting the world know it's safe and that he is the spirit they speak of. Some are frightened about aliens, but most are finding hope in him. He dons a black suit and continues to save lives. Clark meets with Lois and says he'll give her the first interview with him, if she would go out with him. Lois asks if what he said was true about them being together in the future. Clark says it is and she smiles. The movie or pilot ends when we find billionaire tycoon Lex Luthor watching Clark, who is being billed as the Superman, very closely on TV. What do you think of this concept? Is it too violent? Should Superman just continue to never kill? Would a movie or TV show be better? Comment below. Like, subscribe, and thank you for watching In the Plot.